uses a steel washer on the output shaft here. Not all units will use this, and if you need additional shims for the end plate, you can always add one. Next, I'll install my forward and direct clutch drums. And to do this, I'll have to spin these around until the clutches engage. Notice how far the direct clutch drum sits inside our sun gear shell when it's properly installed. Now, if any time I want to check to make sure all my clutches are engaged, I just push down on the direct clutch drum and make sure I can still spin the forward clutch drum both ways. This ensures me that it's installed all the way. I'll install my pump gasket and my front pump. Now, I've left out the second gear band and no O-ring on the pump at all. And I want to install this all the way in, and I want to make sure to line up my bolt holes and then start 2 bolts, one across from each other, and I'll tighten these down with just a speed wrench. Now, if both my drums are still in place, as soon as I feel these bolts snug up at all, I want to make sure the input shaft still turns freely. And if it does, then I know it's assembled correctly, and I'll go ahead and tighten these up fairly snug. Now, what we want to check is total unit end play. That's how much the pieces inside this transmission can shift from end to end inside the transmission. Now, I want to push the input shaft all the way back. I'll use a pair of vice grip pliers, or you could use a dial indicator, but this is a nice simple way to do it. I want to make sure these are a nice pair of pliers with a good side to them. Now, push that up as tight as I can to the stator itself. Also, make sure the input shaft's all the way back. Now, once it's clamped on there, I'll pull it out. Then, using my feeler gauge again, I want to measure how much room there is between the stator and my pliers. This figure will be our end play, and we must keep this between 20 to 50 thousandths. And remember, this is adjusted by using different thickness washers behind the pump and in between the forward and direct clutch drum. Now, when I'm satisfied with the end play, I'll remove the pump and install my second gear band. Next, I'll reinstall the pump gasket and put the square cut seal on the outside pump. I want to make sure that I lubricate both the seal and the bore that the pump fits into. And I'll reinstall my pump. And be sure to check this the same way we did when checking end play. Just use 2 bolts to snug them down, make sure we can still turn that input shaft. Don't forget to put the new washers for